Good morning and welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. I made a video a couple of days ago about TURKI ALALSHIKH asking, is this a good thing long term? Can we hold on to that phrase long term for boxing, that his influence? And there's absolutely no doubt that currently we're all loving it. We're all, as I said before, sort of pigs in the trough, stuffing our faces, loving all these Riyadh cards. But long term, is it a good thing? And in my opinion, it's not a good thing. Or it potentially won't be a good thing if he takes over boxing, if he absorbs, assimilates everything into his under his control. I think any kind of dictatorship or monopoly is a bad thing. Monopolies are bad things, especially in business, and boxing is essentially a business. That's why various countries, the United States is the obvious example, have monopolies commissions where they don't allow any kind of monopolies. Britain doesn't, that's a video for another time, but you know what I mean. Morning tea, excuse me. Now, I had a few people who disagreed with me, which is absolutely fine. They were in the comments section I'm talking about. And they were, almost all of them were fine. There's a couple of idiots, who just troll and, we push them to one side. I don't debate children, all right? I don't bother with children. You have your fun and I'll just carry on as normal. But most people were, sincere in saying, well, what do you have as an alternative? And with respect, I think they kind of, missed the point of what I was saying. I gave my alternative. In fact, I've just given it in this video, which is that you need competition, okay? Because, yes, someone will come along. If you remember PBC, for example, they came along and they were, every fighter after a fight was, I just want to thank Al Heyman. And it was all very... it all seemed very lovely, like a sort of, dawn of a new age. And they were buying up time on all sorts of channels, free boxing, free view boxing. You had to put up with all the adverts, which I hate, but, you'd have to pay for it. And all sorts of stars were getting paid great money. And so it didn't last. Now, I know that the situations are not quite the same because TURKI ALALSHIKH doesn't have a war chest, of 400 or 500 million or whatever it was Al Heyman had. TURKI ALALSHIKH has bottomless pockets. He's one of these guys. He represents the royal family in Saudi. They are wealthy beyond anyone's wildest imaginations. They can carry on and on and on doing what they're doing now. But you've got to ask, why are they doing it? Now, apart from the sports washing thing, which is kind of an attempt to rebrand Saudi Arabia because of its appalling human rights record and bring it into the modern world, or at least the perception of it so that it can be in the modern world. There's that element to it. But apart from that, you've got to ask, well, why are they plugging this amount of money in? They're going to want something back for their money. At the moment, they're losing money hand over fist. They don't give a damn because they've got so much of it. But they're going to, at some point, want some sort of end game, as I said in my last video. And the end game is we end up controlling boxing. We end up calling the shots. And it was very revealing, even though I have limited sympathy for Canelo. I'm kind of on his side to some degree, although he has ducked fighters in the last couple of years, so I don't have that much sympathy. But the principle, I think Canelo is on the right side of this, as is Tim Tszyu, who apparently Turkey isn't particularly interested in promoting Tim Tszyu for whatever reason, I think. But look, Canelo, Tim Tszyu, and a few others, Gervonta Davis is another one, have said, we want to maintain our independence. We want to control our careers. And Turkey, his answer is, well, I've offered you this great amount of money. Why on earth aren't you taking it? Missing the point entirely, which is that fighters want to control their own careers. Now, a few people in the comment section of the last video were saying, I don't care about sports washing. I don't care about fighters' careers. I just want to see good fights. Okay, that's one view. If you don't give a shit about other people, the fighters, the people that are entertaining you, the people. If you don't care about that, that's fine. Get on with it. Excuse me. If you don't care about anything other than what your eyes are seeing, if you're completely amoral, should we say, about the whole thing, that's one option. That's not a view I have. If these guys are getting into the ring and getting the shit kicked out of them, punched out of them, and risking long-term health defects or possibly even death, then yeah, I do have a little bit of empathy for this, considering I've never done it. I've never been a pro fighter. But of course, you want to see great fights. At the same time, you're a fan. You want quality, you want value for money, and so on. And in the past, I've said, well, I don't do pay-per-views because I won't on principle. People say, you're taking money out of fighters' pockets. No, actually, no, I'm not. I don't mind ripping off Tyson Fury for 20 quid because I don't think he should be paid. I don't see any fighter should be paid 100 million or 50 million. They can live on 10 million. We'll do a GoFundMe for them. So yeah, things like pay-per-view, I'm opposed to. I don't believe in it. I just think it's wrong. It's a model that is designed to fleece the consumer. And again, this is a business. So even though I'm certainly no capitalist, I live in a capitalist society, and the first law of capitalism, if you've read Wealth of Nations, is that you have competition, because that's how things supposedly thrive. Capitalism creates capital. It's then what you do with it, who has it, and how it's distributed, and so on and so forth. Now, if you have one guy and essentially it's a dictatorship, that's wrong. That to me is, I don't want a Stalin. I don't want a Hitler. I don't want a Pinochet. I want a democracy where people negotiate the best deals. And people say, yeah, but we wouldn't have had all these great fights recently. No, we wouldn't have done. We probably wouldn't have done. You're absolutely right. But this is a short-term thing. And if you want my answer to what the alternative is, it is that we look long-term. We look at our. What are we going to be? What we're going to be watching in 10 years or even 5 years? You've got to think. If you can blind yourself, you can fiddle while Rome burns, all right, and enjoy yourself, and the whole thing's a great orgy of brilliance now. But what about the long-term effect of having someone who gains control of everything? That's got to be a negative thing, in my opinion. You may disagree. That's fine, right? But I think I'm right. And I've been around long enough to have seen things like this happen. And anyway, of course, this might not come to fruition. Of course, Turkey might not get control of boxing. Top Rank, Matchroom, all the others, Golden Boy, they may maintain their independence, but work with Turkey. That's what I want to see. You want me to say what my alternative is? I've just stated it, okay? That's the alternative. And if a few great fights are not made short term, no problem. Because the betterment of boxing long term, for not just years, but decades to come, is what I'm interested in, okay? So those are my thoughts. Just a few further thoughts on my previous video was called the Assessing Criticism of TURKI ALALSHIKH. This is a follow-up video. And give me your opinions. You might still disagree with me. That's absolutely fine. Just don't be a prick about it. Don't be a twat. It's very, very easy to just delete comments or block someone or whatever. If you're a twat, you're out. This is dead simple. But if you disagree with me and we want to have a respectful conversation, no problem at all. No problem at all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time as always. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you later. All right, bye for now.